the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Aka 9 days na Ghana kwa akoto aba mampani a ono eba bedi anim na sede yene ayenim no se abato ben hu sei a eya na BBC, CNN ene other international platforms and so a report about a kwan a NDC amanyuko no efa so eye on campaign sanso na NPP amanyuko no a kwan a won efa so eye on campaign adien na won ejina so na won de asan ye won campaign na CNN esma won journalist e ma ne ba be pie mu e wo Ghana ha say omra no o me inspect so far project ahodo a akoso a e ma Ghana etimi eye fe e na afi e kire say aban no e bo ne ho modern a me no ka say the CNN journalist no e ba be pie mu e wo Ghana na busuafo report a odiko pie CNN no Trase ama NDC amanyuko no ho aye mompo na campaign no a won eye no kra afedu baby one kra pese ojai na e dey report na CNN journalist ne ba be pie mu Ghana otimi e de koi a me no ka say NDC amanyuko ni sheki a na e sheki on this election yenko na yenko ti
Departure from Kumasi Prempeh International Airport 11 a.m. Arrival, London Gatwick, 6 p.m. The next flight is scheduled for 15 December 2024 to accommodate the Christmas holidays. Subsequent flight schedules will be published in the coming weeks. Signed, management.
Pepe.
Hey, Nanadu, one year win and yet.
I do show boy.
The one year win and your day. I mean, yeah. 1 year win some remun and your day. Oh, come on. Hey. London Gatwick,
straight to
Prempeh International.
I am telling you.
You know, the other day, I mean, 2 weeks ago, me who CNN, one reporter back, Larry Mado.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Kenyan, but I'm sure. But works for CNN. And also by Ghana. And now, me whom be on X, Twitter. And also AD Prempeh International Airport. One dance here.
Yeah.
And he actually said in that video, said, in all his travels, especially in West Africa, if not almost the whole of Africa, no, West Africa, yeah, Prempeh International Airport is the leading, the number one airport for domestic.
Yes.
Domestic.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the number one.
Yes.
Domestic. I think the whole of Africa. Now we've added international to it.
That's it.
From 3rd December. Which is next week Tuesday.
Next week Tuesday.
The first batch. Just Nanado Asheda. And MPP for Mugu landing. Odu omo pass on beto abanyesa.
Omo na to aba.
Urade nyankopon.
E do nyina abawa utie me o ba nyame ya. Wo hu ya ka atwen abawa ba Saturday wo hu ya ka atwen.
Abroni be yenti.
Pepe. Abroni be yenti.
We there. I mean, just omo mra no beto aba.
Omba mra no beto aba.
Just o same. And na me Volta region. John Muhammad AC airport my. Esimurem. Honestly, no. Let's be frank about it. Esimurem. Wurem na esimurem no. Enye se Nanado ne bae. Na we di abro. Na we jai airport na esimurem. I remember as Deputy General Secretary Amopa. The late Jifar Tivo. Na a transport minister at the time.
Yeah.
Sadie we bae. Some of us were very skeptical. Who Google and now be talk be up there. Agbogbo mafia of the whole traditional area. Onona otina adwem adana ye de soso bo fam say be see sa Volta Airport. And if you Google now, you will find it so you can show it to your viewers. Long and short, or kasa we you know say I hope that this project will not be a white elephant. Because Togbi Apede is in the aviation industry. Africa World Airline. Any day?
Yeah.
Togbi Apede, Strategic African Securities. Among his businesses, Asogli Power Plant, a business portfolio now. And he's in the aviation industry, African World Airlines. Eko Kumasi, Eko Tamale, Eko the West African sub-region. I've actually sat in it to Lagos before on one of my ECOWAS election duties. And no ye ho
Yeah.
But his flight does not go to Ho because it's not commercially viable. It is not commercially viable. So John Mahama.
Now, see and Koko bia no de.
Well, what was the needs assessment? You understand? What was the needs assessment? I would call Sa airport no. And I talked up at the sword cutting car. Said, I hope it will not be a white elephant. And he said, I was in Ho last week. It's embarrassing because you ask yourself, Dabeng and Asa airport no ebe viable. Yeah, Dabeng Sa airport no ebe commercially viable. So what was the whole? And now in your intro,
yeah,
also omo free bono,
yeah,
every asante memo,
yeah,
every north. So you drop at PIA, Prempeh International Airport. Electric buses soon are here.
Esu.
Unyam bakwape
Pa
where do fie? I'm telling you, electric buses soon are here. Apart from VIP, STC, all these other buses, road networks, we are improving. So by the time you get to PIA, from Gatwick to PIA, say Jason na woko, say Santasi na woko, say Ahunjo na woko, where do fie? Say Fidem Mahafu, Fidem so na woko, say Bechem, say Chira na woko, Nkranza, where do fie? Say Tamalesu na woko, where do fie? Now, I'm over. Sa upgrading way. And now on mind be a share. And Dr. Bawumia, Vice President, Adenta hire electric buses here.
Yes.
We could see me in Kola school. And now, Eja, sorry, no pa. You are scanning the media. And almost say, Obeba be commission electric buses. Ewa Adenta. Kwa nyi do minyehwe a minfifimu. Nti menya propaganda. They are mehu and America. So yesterday morning, even before you saw it, even before the commissioning, me see me in Kuala Lumpur school na me say look, someone said then you be na denta me ko fifi mu. Ampa me drew on after the Goyle filling station.
Yeah.
It was our dental line or so. So that is the aviation route. And I'm a boy. Good. Out the Babakopim Reese Junction. On the right, after the Goyle filling station. Yard be wo. Senampa buses you electric buses. So I saw it with my eyes. Say buses no. Later on the day, me say omo commission my vice president name.
Yeah.
Amofa inti say obika say digitalization and all these improvements doesn't translate into money in my pocket. I ask myself, Sandipano, nyokano otiasie, because I'm over elsewhere, because we've had the opportunity to travel and live in school elsewhere. Now, with such a transportation system, you are not using petrol, you are not using diesel. Yes, sir.
Fuel,
so you just plug, and they have the power points.
Yes.
So what we need now is then constant electricity supply to be able to charge those buses. But the point I'm making is air-conditioned buses, well maintained. Amofa, I can now park my vehicle at a bus terminal. Now Martina bus from Adenta.
We do our slot card.
Good. So from Adenta to Accra, our Miko meeting, I can sit in the bus and catch up on minutes.
Be reading.
I can be reading.
Air-conditioned bus.
Air-conditioned bus. I'm sure in good time, they may even serve tea and coffee, so you can actually have a breakfast on the bus. But the point I'm making is that, so So it means that during the week, I park my vehicle at a terminal and I pick the bus in and out. So I spend less money on fuel. I spend less money on wear and tear. I spend less money on maintenance. Say shock absorber, say oil filter, say sanyamano amofa. In 6 months, in 1 year, okay, cancer sikani jina ebo anoa. It becomes money in my pocket. So I have more disposable income. That's how you build the economy. That thing I see, oh, when we say Prime Minister of Denmark, you see what the train, because the train is reliable.
Yeah. Otibas,
because the bus is reliable. It comes on time. So if I know, say, Mitio Yarefa, now me pick bus no ewa dental terminal at 7:30. Me must say me drew by 7:20, and the bus moves at 7:30. I know that by 8 o'clock or 8:30, I'm in the CBD, the Central Business District. Me when me meeting, meaning say by 3 p.m., I can pick the same bus back to Adenta. Then I pick my vehicle back to Oyarefa. That is how societies have developed. It is obika me say digitalization. Yen to me fa en wadokono. Yen to me fa nchechinam. Yen to me fa enyameko. Inti yen bongua. I ask myself, sebe eyeboapoyo anase unim and wa sheda na politics inti. Yen di ntron kakra nefa propaganda mfam. So amofa flight Ethiopian Airlines.
Ethiopian Airlines.
Now, Ethiopian Airlines is the #1 carrier in Africa.
Yes.
Anameboa.
Pepe.
Ethiopian Airlines, the #1 carrier in the whole of Africa.
Sure.
Competing with the best in the world. Recently, they've introduced a new fleet of their Airbuses, trying to compete with Qatar Airlines and the Emirates. So if Ghana, Ghana Airways, but be sure say in good time.
Ebeye.
But
sure,
to make the point that if we can partner with Ethiopian Airlines and land passengers and pick up passengers from the middle belt of Ghana, that's all. We are moving forward. We are upgrading. Because some passengers on Mefro plane, you be some party card. And one say okay, Ghana passport. And I say Ghana card. Nanyin. Nobody's asking you MPP, NDC, YPP, FPP.
International Airport Kumasi, nya first time I had TB. The edi kind of na mame jifa tivo. Omu biya no ne ade. Man who say international flight biya ba ho. Won't you see no na ede?
Well, and I make us say it is the preparedness of the nation at a certain point in time. And baby, I pesa on my neko. I am fan politics ni propaganda, but ya shed up as a human ye say beboa obiano. That's the difference.
Okay.
And I make us say, Jifati may so rest in peace as roads sector minister transport. And I must see airport, Mukusi airport for Volta and Medicanca. Some of us had reservations. Ninyana kaone yese ye anti-JM because at the time, baby I see airport no ewo titrinu. So titrinu it means that from Ho through Trafalgar Hospital, then you get to Titrinu. If you continue, then you are now going to Agotime, Petwe, maybe accepts training college in the world. Then you continue through Dakar, get to Joje, get to Denu and Aplau. At the time, Nayadi Airport, what we needed the most, Amofa, was the road from Ho through Joje to Denu. And I remember people saying, say, na airport here mo ko si ai. Nti e be fa kai free Denu. Abaho, abefru flight na na konkran. And I said, yeah. Meanwhile, the Eastern Corridor Road, and I've said it, people say I'm being disingenuous, but I'm here ahinkwa, and I say, Chiame, and I'm in President Mills, Juma. There was a 3 billion Chinese facility from China for the Eastern Corridor. And the main Eastern Corridor itself starts from Tema Runabout through Afienya, Edeko, Asikuma Junction. No, so through Atimpoku, all the way to Japan, Asikuma Junction, Apegusu, Finte, Honumunyako, now we do Asikuma Junction, Opai left through Peki, Goviepe, go all the way to Have, then Fodome, Golokwati, you go into Jasikan, KJB, go into Nkwanta, through Bandai, Bimbila, Yendi, and then to Tamale. That is the whole Eastern Corridor stretch, secured under President Mills. He passed on, only God knows what happened. As Deputy General Secretary of the party, National Chairman Kofi Potufi, and 3 other national officers, at the invitation of the Communist Party of China, we were in China for 1 week, long and short. They couldn't understand why John Mahama had single-handedly worked to abrogate some of these things. And
this is serious.
I'm telling you, that is why under John Mahama the Eastern Corridor Road was not constructed. And he said, Nano, I was on the road, and I'm sure you've seen it.
Yes.
Under Nana Akufo-Addo, the Peve stretch from Peki through Peve, through Goviepe, to Have, Masa, done excellent.
First class.
Under this current administration. So, yet Bebini, I say, of Volta Regina. It's not true. University of Health and Allied Sciences, we all know the story about phase 2. The biggest midwifery and nursing training school in the whole of West Africa. The biggest simulation center in the whole of West Africa. Apart from that, the road from Sokode leading to the university. Last week I was there. At least the first layer of tar, you can see it on it. It was also awarded under President Mills. He died. The contract was abrogated. And I know the contractor, but of course, I won't mention his name. Usuch Reme, that he doesn't understand why after the death of President Mills, President Mahama took over and that contract was abrogated. So my brother, when we are saying the thing, Temamoto Way has just been given out. My own line, Adenta, through Frafraha, Oyarefa, Malejo, Edeko, Dodowa, Somanya, Dodowa, yeah, then through Shai, Edeko, Somanya is also under contract. And if you look at the storm drains that are being constructed at different levels, it tells you that eventually when the road is finished, it will be a first-class road, because if you see the depth, the width, iron rods are storm drains. So it is a modern road construction that is taking place. And Nanado NANA Femudie, 8 years. Obeko, Obibeba Betuaso. But the point we are seeking to make is that
Kogo, you have a different passion when it comes to Ghana.
Look, because I keep saying, growing up in Bema Camp, what I saw in 79, June 4th, and May 15th, Rawlings Revolution, I identify with it. So for me, my politics is about challenging the status quo. Then President Mills himself was a transformational leader. 3 universities in 3.5 years. University of Health and Allied Sciences, the only university that is backed by statute in Parliament, that it should remain health focused into eternity. So now, if you want to introduce, so it's 11 schools or colleges, it is backed by law. If you want to touch UHAS today, you have to go back to Parliament and amend the act that set UHAS up. Because I say, look, na ochina yabeka say UHAS started law. Yes, those courses are good, humanities, but let's have a university that is focused on health and allied sciences. I hear there's going to be a stadium opened in Hokwe on Saturday.
Yes.
But one of the things President Mills wanted to do was to rehabilitate the whole stadium, to add to the University of Health and Allied Sciences, because there's a school of sports medicine that has started. So pure sports medicine. And so the sports center, sports stadium in Ho allows for training and for all those things. That was the vision of President Mills. You will ask that at the end of the day, the only thing John Mahama did was to create a green book and pile all these projects into the Green Book and say any project. But as to what he actually did to help unroll the vision of President Mills, this is a mubisano. Me don't mubisami mean to me yano. So I'm offer back to what is going to happen at PIA on the 3rd of no more maiden flight in November.
Yeah,
I'm sure it will be a source of joy. 3rd
of December.
Yeah, and the Ethiopian airline crew that will fly the people in. And I saw some propaganda on one of the platforms, and they say MPP 4% mujane. After the elections,
from Gatwick, Kumasi.
Debbie, we are about to know straight. No more can African and it's in a airport around this time, but on that, of course, that is in jest. Why not? It be very recent. But on a serious note, I think that in this in the home stretch, the Ananado, Matisse, Saturday, he will be in Volta region. I'm sure Udu also, Niawoye, Commissioner General. I'm sure maybe he will point to a few things that he's done in the region. But otherwise, I think that, and of course, today, Yehunsa Peace Council.
For sign peace pack to make sure there will be peace.
And former President Mahama was there.
Yeah, he was there.
Death. Oh, death. Where is thy sting? I said, maybe a non-year peace council called NDC headquarters. Echo Bomu Tutu, Every Omo. Some free Hong Kong, NDC, and signy peace, no forensic audit, no peace pact. And it's a mobile. I pack. Went to Miamfa in Yinaswambia, Biamba. So there's no forensic audit. But John Mahama has gone to sign the peace pact. So I said, look at here, where lieth thy sting. So when you are doing all this, and after the Ashanti region, after